Have you ever wondered if there's a hidden side to those adorable, spotted dogs we all associate with family films and firehouse mascots? Dalmatians capture our hearts at first glance, with their sleek coats and energetic personalities. Yet, beneath that charming exterior lies a world of secrets few people ever explore. They've been praised as loyal companions, condemned for unpredictable behavior, and everything in between. While most folks believe they know Dalmatians from classic tales and cheerful imagery, the reality can be far more complicated. Let's pull back the curtain on 10 unsettling truths that might leave you questioning everything about these iconic canines. From unexpected health pitfalls to the fallout of movie-fueled demand, each revelation speaks to the complex interplay between human influence and nature's design. By the end, you may never look at those distinctive spots the same way again. Dalmatians are famously susceptible to deafness, a trait linked to the very gene that gives them their striking coat. Some estimates suggest up to 30% might face partial or complete hearing loss, forcing breeders and owners to grapple with tough decisions about which puppies to keep or rehome. This vulnerability has sparked debate, with many wondering if persistent breeding for those signature spots is doing more harm than good. Advocates argue that with responsible care and training, deaf Dalmatians can live fulfilling lives. But skeptics worry about the long-term impact on the breed's overall health. Owners often turn to hand signals and specialized routines to communicate effectively, proving that these dogs can thrive when given the right support. Yet the lingering question remains: how much of this issue could be avoided if appearance took a backseat to well-being? Another unsettling aspect of Dalmatian history stems from a cultural phenomenon that appears innocent on the surface: the sudden popularity spike after certain blockbuster films. When Hollywood showcased these spotted dogs as the perfect family pet, demand shot through the roof. Backyard breeders jumped at the chance to profit, churning out litters without regard for proper screening or responsible placement. The result was a generation of puppies burdened with physical and mental health complications. Overextended owners, convinced they were bringing home a gentle companion straight from the big screen, often found themselves unprepared for the reality. Although the immediate frenzy has subsided, many Dalmatians continue to bear the consequences of careless breeding, choices made in pursuit of a quick sale. Out of that wave of hasty production came another rumor that still haunts the breed today: aggression. Critics argued that these dogs, bred too fast and placed in inexperienced hands, were prone to flashes of hostility. Stories circulated about Dalmatians snapping at children or confronting strangers without warning. As with any large-scale breeding crisis, it's tough to separate fact from hyperbole. Many well-socialized Dalmatians are indeed loving and dependable, but the stigma lingers. Some question if the breed itself possesses a stubborn spark that can erupt if not properly managed, while others believe that irresponsible breeding and the wrong environment are the real culprits. One thing is certain: the debate around whether Dalmatians are inherently unstable remains a polarizing topic among dog enthusiasts. For anyone who fell for the breed's glamorous movie portrayal, few realize these pups demand an extraordinary amount of exercise. Dalmatians aren't content with a leisurely stroll. They crave serious mental and physical stimulation. Without enough outlets for their energy, chaos may ensue. From torn couches to shredded shoes, many exasperated owners have learned the hard way that a restless Dalmatian is a force of nature. Yet those who can match a Dalmatian's zeal often describe a devoted companion who's brilliant at picking up new tricks and thrives in an environment where running and exploring are part of daily life. This duality prompts the question: are Dalmatians poorly suited to typical suburban households, or do many people simply adopt them without a true understanding of what they're taking on? Beyond behavior, another startling revelation about Dalmatians lies in their distinct metabolic processes. They have a unique tendency to form uric acid-based stones, making them more vulnerable to painful blockages in the urinary tract. Unchecked, these issues can escalate into life-threatening emergencies. Vets often recommend specific diets and plenty of fresh water, but that adds another layer of responsibility for owners who might not be aware of how serious the risk can be. Some critics argue that breeders need to prioritize healthy lines over purely aesthetic traits, yet others maintain that dedicated owners can manage these complications with proper care. It's an ongoing struggle that underscores how selective breeding has contributed to a host of health woes for the breed. Equally troubling is the surge in shelter surrenders that followed the Dalmatians' pop culture explosion. Families saw the lovable dogs on screen and rushed out to buy a puppy, only to discover they'd underestimated the breed's demands. As these pets revealed their endless energy and occasional medical complications, rescue centers overflowed with unwanted Dalmatians. While many pups eventually found new homes, it was a sobering lesson in how media hype can lead to real-world consequences. Even now, rescue organizations report that some Dalmatians arrive with behavioral baggage, having been passed around multiple households. Despite everything, these dogs remain resilient, and countless adoption success stories prove that they can thrive with the right family. Still, the specter of that surrender wave remains a dark chapter in the breed's modern history. Far from the spotlight of Hollywood, Dalmatians once served in environments far more brutal than a cozy living room. Historical records suggest they accompanied soldiers, acting as sentries or messengers in times of conflict. Living amid warfare meant witnessing violence and enduring harsh conditions, traits that may have shaped their bold and alert temperament. Even though they eventually transitioned into roles as carriage dogs or family pets, traces of that history might still surface in unpredictable ways. Some breed enthusiasts argue that understanding these warlike origins helps owners appreciate why a Dalmatian might be reserved around strangers, or why they seem to retain a certain seriousness beneath that playful exterior. It's a reminder that centuries of selective breeding and cultural shifts don't entirely erase the past. Perhaps the most famous Dalmatian image is the firefighting mascot racing alongside a red truck, ears flapping in the wind. But while this picture has a cheerful veneer, the reality was often grueling. Before motorized vehicles, horse-drawn fire, wagons roared through busy city streets, and Dalmatians ran beside them to clear crowds and protect the horses. These dogs needed courage, sharp instincts, and endurance, facing danger at every turn. Over time, they became beloved station companions, symbols of bravery and loyalty. However, behind the charm of the firehouse tradition lay hours of rigorous training and the potential for life-threatening hazards. It's a reminder that many canine jobs, even heroic ones, come with risks that demand a tough, unflinching spirit. A further point of contention emerges when people realize just how territorial Dalmatians can be. Though not often categorized with the classic guard dog breeds, they can take their role as protectors surprisingly seriously. Territorial outbursts might occur if they perceive a threat to their home or family, and that vigilance catches some owners off guard. Proper socialization, strict boundaries, and consistent discipline are key to preventing unwanted incidents. Nevertheless, critics fear that combining this instinct with the breed's potential for aggression, especially if poorly bred or untrained, could set the stage for problems. Defenders of Dalmatians argue that these traits only highlight their loyalty, insisting that a balanced environment transforms a territorial dog into a watchful but loving family member. Finally, the controversies around breed-specific legislation come into focus. While Dalmatians aren't as heavily restricted as some other breeds, there have been discussions in various locales about limiting or banning them due to perceived aggression. Supporters of such bans argue that if a breed shows recurring behavioral red flags, regulation is warranted for public safety. Opponents counter that this unfairly punishes responsible owners and well-behaved dogs, while doing little to address deeper issues such as irresponsible breeding and owner negligence. The debate underscores how quickly public sentiment can shift, shaped by media portrayals and sensational stories. In the end, the question remains: is it ethical or effective to impose broad policies on an entire breed without looking at the individual dog's upbringing and environment? Taking a step back, it becomes evident that Dalmatians carry a heavy weight on their spotted shoulders. Their history is a tapestry woven with war service, a Hollywood-driven breeding craze, and countless tales of triumph and tragedy in family homes. Health challenges like deafness and urinary stones complicate matters further, placing unique demands on prospective owners. At the same time, these dogs are often celebrated for their intelligence, vibrant spirits, and unwavering devotion to those who understand them. So, what's the bottom line? Owning a Dalmatian isn't a decision to be made lightly, nor is it one that dooms you to an unmanageable pet. With conscientious breeding, thorough training, and a commitment to meeting their high-energy needs, they can transform into outstanding companions. Yet it's vital to grasp their full story, including the controversies and challenges, to honor both their past and their future. As we've uncovered these 10 darker truths, one thing remains clear: The Dalmatians' captivating spots cloak a far more complex tale than most people ever realize.